Dry weather as we head all the way into Friday. We'll have those temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, so feeling like fall, and we'll also have our nights in the low to mid 40s. Jamie?
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. And I know we're officially into fall now, but David, you've been in fall sports for a few weeks.
That's a good way to put it. We've been in fall for a while, and as a matter of fact, we're counting it week by week for football. This is week 3, which means Friday Night Beyond the Lights. Week 3 is coming up right after the break.
The games to see, the players to watch. Friday Night Beyond the Lights starts now.
Proctor football usually plays games on Saturdays. That is, unless they're on the road. And a special treat tonight, as the Raiders were the visiting team, but they were close enough for us to go and watch that game. Rome Free Academy was the host. And early in the second quarter, Proctor already leads 14-0. First and 10 from the 46. Brandon Peterson skies it. Long pass caught for 42 yards by Javier McLean. Sets up just outside the 10-yard line. Then senior captain Trayshawn Patterson weaves back and forth for the touchdown. 22-0 Raiders. Patterson ran for more than 130 yards tonight and scored 3 touchdowns. On the kickoff after that touchdown, RFA fumbled it. Proctor recovered, and 4 plays later was that touchdown, scored by junior Todd Abraham for 6 more to make it 28-0. Black Knights go to the air on their next possession, 3 plays in a row, then pound the turf. There, it was senior Nevech Baez who dances into the end zone to put Rome on the board. Proctor quarterback Brandon Peterson did get injured late in the first half, though. He appeared to have a right knee injury, was replaced by Joseph Gentile. The Raiders do go on to win 52-18. They're now 2-1 on the season. In Class A, Whitesboro on the road again. Both of Whitesboro's quarterbacks went down with injury in the first quarter. Colin Skirmont did return, and then third-string quarterback Frank Trotta led an 8-minute drive to tie the game in quarter 2 at 14. But Whitesboro was behind 28-14 until it was a one-score game when Deshaun Hutchinson broke a few tackles to score there. But when they get the ball back, Whitesboro kicks it off, gets the onside recovery. Under 2 minutes left. We're on the red zone, on the 20-yard line. But you saw that stopped by Fayetteville Manlius to win the game. So Whitesboro falls 28-20. They're now 1-2 overall. In Class B, New Hartford played its first divisional game of the year hosting Chittenango. After an explosive first 2 weeks, the Spartans said yesterday at practice they had to keep the foot on the gas. And right there, the 3rd minute of play, Alex Zayas finds the opening to make it 7-0. 4 minutes later, quarterback Gabe Spado looking, and he throws 30 yards down the field to Gavin Williams. Now 21-0, still in the first quarter. Final seconds of the first quarter now. Spado hands the ball off to Alex Culver, and if you're any defense, you really don't want to see that happen. 4 touchdowns last week. That is already his 3rd tonight to make it 41-0 at halftime. Already, again, his 3rd touchdown. He kept going. Ran for more than 200 yards tonight. New Hartford dominates yet again. The Spartans have outscored opponents now by nearly 150 points through 3 weeks. Now VVS in CVA in a Class B matchup. Already 7-0 VVS in quarter 1. James Wheeler scored that one. But here in the second, early on, Samuel Jacase takes the ball and runs through the line for the touchdown. 7-7 tie. 7:40 left in the second now. Still midway in the second quarter. And Jackson Harwick caught the throw to the end zone from Brendan Whitman. So it's 14-7 VVS. And we keep going. It's still just a few minutes left in the first half. Benjamin Whitman with another pass down to Jackson Horodnik, who runs it down to score. 27 VVS. They wound up keeping the lead after that, enough to win. CVA scored late to try and catch up, but wasn't enough as it was 20-15. So that's some highlights. We've got more after the break, and we'll also let you know why one game tonight was actually canceled. We'll have the details next.
This is Friday Night Beyond the Lights on WUTR.
Westmoreland Oriskany football was originally scheduled to play in Class C this season, but the Bulldogs asked Section 3 if they would be able to play in Class D this year because of low participation numbers and inexperience on the field. Not the only team we've seen this happen to this year, but that's the route that Westmoreland chose. So now playing the Class D schedule, any win they get does not count against its opponent's playoff chances. Tonight, Westmoreland played at Waterville, both teams looking for their first wins of the season, so no one affected yet by Westmoreland Oriskany. Second quarter, ball on Waterville's 10-yard line, and Westmoreland quarterback Michael Scalise takes it himself, breaks through a few tackles, too, along the way. takes it all the way. First score of the game, 7-0 Westmoreland. Scalise had 2 more rushing touchdowns, had 68 yards on the ground total. Also threw a touchdown to Cameron Rottenstrach. Joe Bulenchek was solid on defense for the Bulldogs with 11 tackles and a fumble recovery as Westmoreland Oriskany barked to a 28-7 victory. Also in Class D, Dolgeville looking for its 3rd straight win to start the season. Greg Gagnier hands the ball off to Connor Morse. He gets Dolgeville for a big first down. That would lead to this play. From the 1-yard line, off goes Jared Belinsky, who finishes the job. His 2nd touchdown of the night. And that's really how it felt throughout the entire evening. The Blue Devils cruise on to a 36-7 victory. Also in Class D, Little Falls football remains undefeated with a 15-point win tonight over Lawville, 35-20. And in Class C this evening, the game between Holland Patton and Mount Markham has been canceled. The Golden Knights head coach Brian Briggs says that Mount Markham has players in COVID-19 quarantine and they did not have enough to field a team tonight. He says the game should just count as a non-game instead of a forfeit where it would be a win and a loss situation, but we are waiting for confirmation on this from Section 3 Executive Director John Rathburn. Coming up after the break, Syracuse University football was hosting undefeated Liberty University tonight. How did the Orange fare? A look at that game and other college games that you'll be able to catch this weekend. Coming up next.
You're watching Friday Night Beyond the Lights on WUTR.
While we keep our focus on local high school games throughout this evening, we cannot forget about some college football. And if you didn't make it out to any of the high school games tonight, maybe you were at home watching the Syracuse football game as the Orange played on a rare Friday night. And it was a good one, too. The Syracuse Orange do wind up winning 24-21. But the score can be deceiving. While it's close, Syracuse did score 14 in the second quarter as Liberty scored 7. So it was 14-7 Syracuse at halftime. Both scored a touchdown with an extra point in the third. It was tied at 21 in the fourth until Syracuse set up for the ever infamous or famous, depending on how you look at it, last-second field goal attempt where Andre Schmidt was able to make his field goal. He hit it from 35 yards, so that was good. He missed one field goal tonight, so leading up to that, definitely a little bit of pressure for the Orange. As far as quarterback goes, Garrett Schwarter pitched 6 of 15 completions for tries for 77 yards. A lot of the work, though, was done on the ground by Sean Tucker, who rushed 31 times for 170 yards almost, and a touchdown, 2 touchdowns scored on the ground by Schroeder himself as well. So the Orange come back at the last possible second to win in regulation 24-21. In the Empire 8, coming up tomorrow, Division III matchups, final non-conference game of the season for Utica College, and it's a tough one. The Pioneers host number 12 Union College. That'll be a fun tongue twister at 1 p.m. tomorrow. Hartwick College, though, is off this week. Hamilton College will be playing at Wesleyan in another Division III matchup. That one is also a 1 p.m. kickoff. And then Colgate in Division I hosts Lehigh at 1 p.m. Lehigh has yet to win a game. Colgate has a few wins, and they also have a loss, so trying to keep the momentum going. On WUTR this weekend, Texas Tech plays at Texas at noon, so a little bit of a rivalry there that you can catch right here on this channel. Rutgers then plays at 3:30 p.m. at number 19 Michigan as we head into the weeks with the ranked teams. And West Virginia hosts, or rather plays at number 4 Oklahoma, so a tough challenge, but you'll be able to see whether they can be the underdog victor at 7:30 p.m. On our sister station WFXV, number 12 Notre Dame plays at number 18 Wisconsin at noon. Number 14 Iowa State plays at Baylor at 3:30. Then Sunday, the NFL on WFXV. Washington plays at Buffalo at 1 p.m. And then the Buccaneers and Rams, both undefeated, 2-0 so far this season. They'll be playing each other in L.A. at 4:25. After the break, we'll have a feature about this week's Eyewitness Sports Athlete of the Week, so don't touch the remote.
This is Friday Night Beyond the Lights on WUTR.
All week, we've been asking you to go to cnyhomepage.com and submit your nominations for Eyewitness Sports Athlete of the Week. And this week, one Sequoia Valley boys soccer player stood out. He led his team with 11 goals through the first 5 games, 5 wins in a row for the team, including a hat trick for him against Poland. No other team but a dominant Class D Poland, as we know. And he's your first Eyewitness Sports Athlete of the Week, and his name is Andrew DeShavo. I mean, what are your impressions of just how the season has started so strongly?
The team's come a lot better together this year than we did last year. We just seem more like a team this year. I'm just proud of how we're playing together.
Why do you think there's so much of a difference?
After last year, we didn't really have anything to play for without there being sectionals or anything. And this year, for a lot of these guys, the sophomores, the freshmen, it's the first time they've played for anything. So I think there's that hunger. It just feels good to not be playing kickball or not good soccer.
Kickball meaning just kicking the ball around?
Kicking the ball and hoping someone gets on the other end of it rather than passing, moving, you know. It's more pretty the way we're playing this year.
You've been a guy who's really contributed a lot on the statistical side of things too, not only with your leadership, but by scoring plenty of goals along the way, 11 in these first 5 games. So what is it like for you to know that you personally are contributing and helping your team out in that kind of way?
Obviously, I want the goals. I want to, have the personal stats, but I'd rather have the sectional title. The team achievements are more important to me than the individual ones. But I'm happy to help the team with my goals.
How would you describe your style of play?
Sporadic. Coming out of the play a lot. I go missing for a little bit, so the defenders can't really notice me, and then I pop back in, and it makes me harder to defend, I believe.
You scored 3 goals. You had a hat trick against Poland the other day, and that was a win over Poland. Only Poland's 5th loss since 2018. They're 47-5 since 2018. What did it mean to you to be able to get those 3 goals and bring the Sequoia Valley team over such a dominant Poland team?
My freshman year we lost to them. Both games we played them, and they were close games, and it was really gutting to lose to them. And to have such a big victory over them really meant a lot, and be able to contribute as much as I did was also a good feeling.
11 goals for you total, plus 2 assists, 24 points over these first 5 games alone. What is it that has really allowed you to be able to come out firing like that too?
My teammates, we're playing great soccer, we're linking up well, it's not individual goals. If you look at the goals that I've scored, it's us working around the ball and I maybe dribble a guy or two, but here or there, but it's just good soccer, moving the ball around, and I'm scoring tap-ins.
Okay, I have to ask this too. Sequoia Valley boys soccer has brand new jerseys this year. These new jerseys, how much does that play into this whole new mindset?
Look good, feel good, play good. Yeah, so I think that mindset might help a little bit. When you look good, you play good.
The Chavos continue to look good on the field. He now leads the team with 14 goals through 7 games. And Sequoia Valley boys soccer still undefeated. So is the girls team, by the way, too. Sequoia Valley soccer has not yet lost in 2021. So keep your eye on them for sure. It's going to be pretty interesting. So for now, that's all for Eyewitness Sports and Friday Night Beyond the Lights. So stay friendly and have a great weekend.